This is the Delareyville 200. Brought to you by Calcimite. In the heart of Delareyville, one of the fastest off-roads you can ride, flat and fast through the millies. Big turnout of competitors arriving at this popular race, which is actually the RP Reinicke Memorial as well. Big names like Jock Struve here in the quads. All the competitors eyeing each other out, seeing what competition they have today. Final preparations for the bikes before they head out onto the track. Registration going full steam ahead. Final details for the riders and drivers before they head out onto the track. Of course, this race in memory of a great man, RP Reinicke, who has been involved with off-road racing for many, many years. Sadly passed away about 4 months ago.
Mooi pasmaak, precious cargo.
Bikes, quads and cars. As Flippy Velman, the COC, takes him through their final notes before heading out onto the circuit.
My naam is Hendrik. Flippy is my gevra om net so miskien 'n halteblyk te doen, net iets te sê oor ons familie en motorsport. My pa was RP Reinicke geweest. Hy so 4 maande terug in 'n helikopterongeluk oorlede.
Great memory of a great driver, RP Reinicke. That was his son Hendrik Reinicke saying a few words. An appreciation for the sponsor Calcimite, who makes this all happen. About to get underway, and the juniors will be up first. They'll get to test the soil in Delareyville. Windy conditions also going to make it dusty out there, but the juniors, they won't be scared of anything. They'll go full steam ahead and pave the way for the rest of the guys. Final words from the COC, and that is all about safety. Quite a few lady entrants in the race today. Getting pointed in the right direction, and they'll be on their way. Flat and fast, flat out. Some of the bikes as well. That's Christian Steinman on his way. He doesn't need any directions, on his way, full steam ahead. Helios Stratum on his way through the turn, getting a little bit of slippage there ahead of Gerard Olivier on that Kawasaki 85. Don't get a chance to build up too much speed as they go out of the gates. Get pointed in the right direction, then they know what to do from there. The 37 of Tommy Scott on his way in that Honda 154 stroke. They have a road crossing straight after the start, so I have to take caution. And it's number 8 of Corlia Stratum. Fast section, flat out into top gear. Look out for the markers, and then they're on their way again. The 360 of Christian Steinman out on the circuit. Look how they've all got bunched up out of there. The 37 of Tommy Scott. Quite a few riders all together. They have to watch out for the fencing and all the crossings. And there we go. As he gets through, you can see back on the throttle and full steam ahead into the distance. More problems as 2 riders come together there. It looks like Dante Fanikak, one of the riders that went down. Back with the 360 of Christian Steinman, looking pretty good. Oh, down goes a rider. That looked like Tommy Scott that went over the handlebars there, was having such a great ride. They're all trying to catch Christian Steinman at this stage, but some changes up at the front end. Looks like he's okay. A little late on the brakes, just overshot the turn, and down he went. A slow-mo replay there, catching all the action here in Delareyville, and all the riders doing the courtesy thing of stopping to check he's okay. So well done there to the 13 of Gerard Olivier, who stops and checks that everything is all good. The 404 Sculptron, also one of those riders making sure all things are good. Railway crossings as well, you got to make sure you go straight across the side of them. Corlia Stratum on her way. You can see quite a few ladies in the mix here. Nice and easy across the railway crossing, and on her way again. Full steam ahead. Spectators out on the course. Luckily for the wind, blowing the dust away, making conditions spectating this event quite pleasant as we watch the J27 of Helgaard Vetraat go past, along with Megan Stund on the quad and Dante Fanikak at the checkered flag. The rest of the riders coming into the finish, a very, very fast lap. We had a chance to catch up with one of the riders, Peter Kerm.
It was very nice, a little bit fast, but I like the tight part.
From the juniors, it's time to move on to the quads. Big turnout of quads with some big names. They'll be racing very, very quickly around this Delareyville circuit. Spectators waiting in anticipation for the guys to get started. Plenty to eat and drink. A great atmosphere at this Delareyville 200. Once again, we're seeing lots of lady competitors, which is great to see. And even some disco lights. Bosman Struvik gets the race underway. Very quickly through that first section. He means business. Jaco Venter, the next rider on the way. Little break as they go across that road crossing. He'll try and chase down on him. Morena Venter, one of the lady riders, on her way. A lot more cautious than the guys in that section. But of course, that's all part of the game. Traffic lights for the riders to get on their way. Next rider out is Marinus Brinkman on L50. Louis Jordan on the way on L4. And the lights change for the CL99 of Duncan Willemse. Leroy van Niekerk, next rider on the way. Look at the crowd that has turned out to see the start of the quads. Well, the cameraman buried in the crowd. That's the spectator view as they head on to their way in Delareyville. And the wind is pumping now. Going to make things very difficult for the guys out on track. Let me tell you, it does affect the riders, especially when they're riding in a long straight line and they've got a crosswind. Well, the fence has been opened and the riders are chasing each other down. The gaps have all come down. It's a very, very tight race. That's the 919 of Wynand Minnar that is on his way through, closing up through the field. Reino Trichart on the 270. He goes through the right-hander. He has a look up the track to see how far he's still got to catch. Of course, lots of racing still ahead of these guys. Back with your race leader, Bosman Struvik. No fear as he crosses the railway line and holds on to the race lead. Louis Jordan on the L4. He goes through that little fence crossing. Changed directions and on his way again. These quads love the dirt roads. You can see how the guys get those quads out sideways. That's the 42 of Gideon Jacobs. A big name we know in the quad industry. Trying to catch up on the leader. Reino Trichart having a little look as he goes across the railway tracks. Safer option for him. You can hear how the wind is pumping through this section though. These guys not afraid of that. Still full taps ahead. Peter Reinecker there, full taps as he changes direction. Also trying to catch up to the leaders. We've got a big batch of riders though in the mid-pack, all helping each other on the course. Sometimes riding in a batch makes it a little easier. You get to follow the riders in front of you on the course, but not helping this man as he almost takes the wrong route on the wrong side of the fence. 524, Koos Mayberg. Enjoying his ride out there in one of the bigger quads. But look at that, tucked in behind the handlebars. There's Pierre Hubert showing you some slow-mo action of just how difficult it is to ride a quad at this sort of speed. Great to watch and great to see the slow-mos. You don't always get a chance to see how rough it is out there on the quads. The L4 of Russell Ferreira making his way past. Raymond Lopez, greatly turned out quad up the bank, and a little slow-mo of a great wheelie. Keeps it in control. That could have gone bad, but he knows the course by now. Oh, as I say that, onto two wheels, keeps it all together. Bosman Struvik makes his way onto his final lap. He knows he's just got a lap to go, nice and cautious across the road crossing. Doesn't want to make any mistakes now. He's got a great lead in this race. Sips of water and the riders trying to get on their way as quick as possible. They know this is their last chance to close down on the leaders. A little thumbs up on the way out. You know, you've got one more lap to go.
How's the race going, buddy?
Not even time to speak to the cameraman, but anxious to get going. Stalls the bike and now has to get it fired up. That's Zander Brunken. Gets on his way out of pit lane. Of course, you have to ride nice and slow. Back with our leader on the 99, there's Jock Strubig, otherwise known as Bosman. Got himself a healthy lead over the rest of the riders. There's Pierre Hubert chasing down on Jock Struvig up in the front. It's a big gap he's going to have to close up on this final lap. Some mud crossings, despite the hot weather. The 169 of Marty Bachfischer. She knows she's got one more to go. I'm not too sure if she wants it, but let's say she's on her way. Most of the riders know the circuit now, know where all the traps are, and getting through as quick as possible. Look at that. Some of them not even slowing down for those mud holes. Flat taps. A nice wheelie towards the checkered flag for our race winner, Jock Struvig.
Awesome. Nice day at the office. Awesome route. Well-marked race. Thanks to all my pit crew that got me out my pit so quickly every time. And just thanks to Triple S, HMF, Alka, all the hopes to keep on making this. All good.
Now for a recap on the results, brought to you by Calcimite. The Q1 class, the winner there, Jaco Venter, ahead of Gideon Jacobs, and in third place, Marty Bachfischer. Plenty of action in the Q2 class, and the winner of that class was Hannes Geyer. In second place was Peter Reinecker, and Kobus Low was in third place. In the Masters class, it was the man who actually won overall for the event, Jock Busman Struvig. Great race up in the front, showing the guys how to do it. In second place was Russell Ferreira, and Xander Branken in third place. Time now for the bikes. We've already seen the wind pumping through Delareyville. This is certainly going to be a tough job for the two-wheelers out there on track. Always lots of nerves at the start of a race. Riders making their way out into Delareyville. Hendrik Ruert on the Suzuki, pushing as he goes across that road crossing on his way from here all the way up to top gear. 129, Henry Pretorius out on a two-stroke, ahead of the number 2 of Eugene Stein. A little bit of a different line across the road compared to the rest of the competitors. Once again, we see that big crowd watching the guys on their way. Rikus du Plessis, very nicely turned out machine. From second up to third and all the way to top gear. The 141 of Craig Coetzee on his way. He's not hanging around. Right in the top range of the revs as he tries to close up on our leaders. There we go, we can see the crowd. Lots of support for the guys. They've already picked their favorite as we watch Tom Scott on the 433 on the Yamaha. Back with Hendrik Ruert as he goes across the water crossing. No problems for him on his first lap. And yeah, these bikes are running really tall gears. They know the Delareyville 200 is a very fast race. Herman van Woudenberg slows down for the water crossing. Always better to be slightly cautious on your first lap out there. Not for Jan Lubauer though. Still pretty quick across that water crossing. About the only bit of water they're going to see out there on the track. Very dry, dusty and windy. Well, as far as I know, you're supposed to stop just before a road crossing. You just say the riders are on their way. They're in a race here. The 75 of Jan Lubauer. Riders getting their markings and on their way again. This is how off-roads work, to make sure that you've been through all the checkpoints. KX450, plenty of power. Peter Gerber showing us the way around, ahead of the 249 of Gavin Mostert. The number 1, AJ Stein, about to head out onto his last lap. They'll be feeling a little tired now. Final instructions from the COC. And he knows he's got just one more to go. The 141, Craig Coetzee, heading onto his last lap, and a big tussle there with the 248 of Hendrik Ruert. Right alongside each other, there's going to be a fast and furious battle. The 33 of Marius Venter also heading out onto his last lap. Great riding style there from the E14 of Craig Coetzee. Last lap charge ahead of the 249, Gavin Mostert on that Yamaha two-stroke. Luckily the wind blowing all the dust off the track so the guys behind can see a clear path. AJ Stein currently in 4th place, ahead of the 248 of Hendrik Ruert, who's dropped back a few positions. The 33 Marius Venter also trying to make sure that he finishes inside the top 5. Craig Coetzee on the E14, that great riding style, but runs a little wide through the turn. Just shows you the pace he's keeping out there on those dirt roads. Hendrik Ruert on that Suzuki. Really quick through that corner. He managed to keep it on a decent line. LC Diaga showing us his riding style out there on Delareyville circuit. Neil Putter on the Suzuki. You can see just how fast this Delareyville circuit is. Marius Venter on 33. A nice stoppie as he arrives at the checkered flag. He's the first rider to arrive there, but they'll have to work out the corrected times. He looks pretty stoked with his result. The 141 of Craig Coetzee, the next rider in. Great riding style and a great finish. Let's take a look at the results. We'll go to the OR1 450 class first. The number 1, AJ Steyn, with a great win ahead of LC Diaga, and in third place, Hendrik Ruert. In the OR2 250cc class, the winner was Marius Venter, ahead of Shane van Niekerk, and in third place, Ivan Prinsloo. The results from the junior and senior classes, it was Craig Coetzee in the OR3 with the win ahead of Jan Lobauer. In the junior class, it was Marius de Kock ahead of Frans Koch. Rikus du Plessis taking the win in the senior class.
So, what are you driving? Small car? Big car? Sports car? Buggy? When you sell it, you want to get the best deal without any hassle. You need We Buy Cars. Just visit our website, submit your vehicle details, and We Buy Cars will contact you. We come to you and handle everything with immediate payment. Quick and easy, safe and secure. WeBuyCars.co.za, the easiest way to sell your car by far.
Oh my gosh. Who needs coffee when you got 700 horsepower? Supercars Exposed is in Germany to check out some fast Audis and drive one of the most extreme and ridiculously powerful Porsche street cars on the planet.
250, 300 kilometers an hour, you want to make sure that your tire does not touch the fender metal, because if that's the case, your tire is done and you have a big problem.
While I'm speeding through Germany, my co-host Louise Brady will help us to continue our Go Fast theme at Orlando, Florida's Festival of Speed.
Oh yeah, she goes quite nicely.
Next up, we go to the car category, back to four wheels, like where we started with the quads. This time a little bit more horsepower and a little bit more speed. And the track well and truly rough by this time of the day.
Gonna be a lot of dust and a lot of sand, huh? It's gonna be hard. That's gonna be a quick race. Quick race, yes.
Great to have this race in memory of Op Uranica, who at some stage in his career would have competed against most of these guys on the start line. They will have that in their minds as they make their way out onto this 200-kilometer circuit. Lawrence and Karine Boersen getting themselves ready for the race.
It's extremely hot, but we're going to go for it as hot as we can.
They're certainly going to go for it. Johan Blum and Byron Tarr making their way out onto the track first. A good place to be with all the dust that's going to be following them. Next driver out is Johan and Chris Mitchell. Yeah, they're not holding back for anyone. One of the side-by-sides going out, Werner Mostert and Henno Duploy. Various vehicles in this off-road category. The D13 of Henny and Henny Lemmer in the buggy making their way out onto the track. The big power there of Jannie van Niekerk and Pieter Geldenhuys. They look like they're going to be fast. Another one of the side-by-sides. They're going to have a lot of fun. Great vehicles to start your off-road career. Next drivers on their way is Daniel and Lo Zili. The big green machine of Lawrence and Karine Boersen. The same track is what the quads and the bikes have done in getting through it without any problems. The big monster van, Johan Stein and Ronald Smith. 115, no problems for the buggy, but taking it nice and easy, Piet Potgieter and Jannie Duplessis. Lawrence Haasbroek and Jock van der Pfeiffer leave the start line. We got new Hilux buggies and older Hilux buggies. It doesn't matter what you got, you're going to go and race it. One of the newer ones, it's Hein Kruger and Leonard Reinecker. In the orange Ford, it's Willie Velman and Sigmund Fanta, brother of the COC today, enjoying himself out on the track. The T15 is Dana Vos and Jart van der Walt, one of the national production cars out on the circuit. B23, next driver through is Paul Murray and Benny Duminy. Great drive from the B7, Johnny Walker and Etienne Marks. Starting to get some battles in the mid-pack. The 21 of Johan and Christopher Mitchell. There you can see the special car, clearly quicker than the buggy as he makes his way down the fence at full speed. Here come the Zeelies in the Maxis special. A little bit of understeer, but back on track. Rikus Prinsleur and Leila Lerm. Great driving, a little bit of a Scandinavian flick into the turn from Lawrence and Karine Boersen. They keep it ahead of the BMW production car there of Dana Vos and Jart van der Walt. Incredible revs coming out of the Fossies Racing BMW. Queue of drivers in the dust, being led though by Johan and Christopher Mitchell. The third car in that group, the A15 of Jannie van Niekerk and Pieter Geldenhuys. The Toyota Hilux proving why it's such a great off-road car. Hein Kruger and Leonard Reinecker. Another one of the Hiluxes, a national production car. You can hear the high revs as he goes through the turn. Malcolm and Andre Koch. The water crossing getting deeper and deeper. Leonard and Ivan Duplessis. Some of the drivers deciding to take it a fair bit slower. That's the Lemmers wanting to make sure they finish this race on all four wheels. The Calcimite Special being driven by John Telford and Victor Nshedi. Nice and easy through the puddle and on their way again. This is what can happen if you're not that careful. The Boysons with wheel right off. They're going to have to get that back into the pit lane and get it fixed. John Telford's car getting towed back into the pits as well. Apparently an overheating problem. A lengthy pit stop for the Vandenbergs. They'll have to get out and get driving really fast on the second lap. Thumbs up though from the B4 of Andre Vermeulen and Rian van Rensburg as they head out onto their last lap. Repairs looks like brake problems for the side-by-side. And Hein Kruger and Leonard Reinecker. Also some running repairs. Looks like the track has been brutal on the cars. Apparently a broken tie rod end. Won't be long before they get that running again. The Monster Special, Johan Stein and Ronald Smith into the checkpoint for the last time. Hein Kruger and Leonard Reinecker, looks like they've fixed their problems. Will make their way out onto the last lap. There's Van der Mostert and Henno Deploy in the side-by-side. Looks like they've fixed their brakes and on the way again. Close gap though down to second place. There's going to be a race to the finish in the side-by-sides. It looks like the Vandenbergs have retired.
Car's overheating a bit. Wind is bad. All of us, all the cars are struggling with overheating problems. So we rather retired before we damage the motor.
It's a race through the fields in Delareyville. It's not over until the checker flag is out. Some cars making some last-ditch passes, making sure they get up to the front end of the pack. Malcolm and Andre Koch through the splash and not holding back at all. Lawrence and Karine Boersen have sorted their vehicle out. Wow, didn't even touch sides on the water. Keeping ahead of that BMW production car of Dana Vos and Jart van der Walt. Keith McInerney and Greg Goodrich, the next car through in the specials. And Still a cautious approach for the Mitchells. Malcolm and Andre Koch. Great sounding production car there in that Toyota Hilux. Leonard and Ivan Duplessis still right up there in the specials. That's an interesting looking car, driven by Willem Rousseau and Tommy Buerta. We're going to head down to the finish line. We'll bring the T13 Malcolm and Andre Koch through in the front. Next car through to the checkered flag is Hein Kruger and Leonard Reinecker. The official just double checking how many laps they've done before he officially waves their checkered flag. Let's check out the results then in the specials class A and B. The winner was David and Martin van Jaarsveld ahead of Johan and Chris Mitchell in class A, and winning in class B was Johan Stein and Ronald Smith ahead of Leonard and Ivan Duplessis. The national class was won by the Zeeleys ahead of the Boysons, and in class C, Vanna Mostert and Henny Deploy beat out Johan Blum and Byron Tarr. And in production classes D, E and F, the Lemmers were the winners there ahead of Hein Kruger and Leonard Reinecker. Class E was Andre and Anton Vandenberg, and the winner of Class F was Arthur Atwell and Ludovic Kruger. And in the national production class, the winner was Malcolm and Andre Koch ahead of Jannie and Chris Visser, and Hendrik and Arpie Reinecker winning the Plus Bucky class. It was great to see Hendrik and Arpie Jr. driving in this race in memory of their dad, Arpie Reinecker. We caught up with Arpie to find out how it went.
Ek dink al die groot moeilikheid vir ons voor. Die gou het ons gebyt. Ek en my broer voel al twee is dalk 'n goeie tyd om ernstig aan die sport te begin deelneem. So hopelik kan ons finansies ons toelaat en kan ons dalk volgende seisoen begin deelneem.
Well done to the Africa Off-Road Racing for organising the Delareyville 200.
Ja, boere te koesie.